I'm back, and I'm going to test to make sure that the streaming is working. So just give me a few seconds. Oh, my dog also wants to come in. Okay, let me just test the sound. Hello? Okay, good. The sound is working. Do you guys want to see the dog? Kala, do you want to say hi to my streamers? Oh, come here. Her name's Kala, and we got her just a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, actually. It's been 2 months now. She's all black, and you can't see her eyes. So she's not very photogenic, but she's very cute. Okay, goodbye. Whew, she has grown quite a bit. Okay, so I think the last time we left off, we were implementing a form of drag and drop, and we had solved a certain bug. And let me see if I can get that bug up. So this is our previous code, and we had solved it. So let me see if I can pull it up. I forgot what it's called dashboard dot get me logo host or something. Yes, here we go. Okay. I'm going to actually do this in Chrome. Just because I like their developer tools better. Get rid of this, okay, here. So last time we got this thing going, so we were able to click this, start dragging it, and then as soon as we hover into this priority issues box, there's a little stylization to show you that you can drop it in, and you can also see the cursor changes to this plus button. That means you can add it in here. But before, we solved this bug where if you hover over another card, this thing disappears. And we solved the bug where it doesn't do that anymore. Okay, so now you can hover over this thing and it won't disappear, which is great. And how I did that was I just turned off. I think I turned off what's called like hover animations for this part here for these components. But what I actually want in the end is I want you to be able to drag and put it somewhere in between here, and it should push this card here to the right. Kind of like you've seen these in iOS animations before, or in Apple animations. I think someone was showing this on Keynote on slides. So let me see if I can pull up Keynote, just like a random slide here. Okay, I'm just creating one off screen. Let's create another slide. Oops. Okay. Okay, good. So here's Keynote, and I think as you can pull this out, which is kind of nice. What happens when I do that? Oh, well, that's should delete or something. But anyways, you see it moves. You see how it kind of slides as you go in between, so you can reorder. So we want to be able to reorder this list. And so similarly here, I think if we want to put this here, we want to be able to reorder that. Okay, and so this should push to the side. So it took me a while to Google how to get this issue. For a long time, I was Googling the wrong things, and I realized that a lot of times doing this stuff right and better is just knowing what to Google. So after searching for a long time, I realized the terms to search for is React drag and drop sorting. This is a sorting issue, so we can manually sort these things. Okay, and we can rearrange the order by dragging it in. So I found a library. At first, I was avoiding libraries, different libraries to use. I wanted to see if I could put it on my own, but this is too complicated, I think. It's too involved. So I think this library will help a bit. And this library is called the React Dnd Library. And I think it's pretty solid. But unfortunately, it also uses quite a bit of jargon or let's see if we can go to the tutorial page or overview page. It uses a syntax that I'm not too familiar with. Okay, so let's go to tutorial. So they say they have a syntax that's sort of similar to, no, not here. I want to go to overview. That's similar to Flux and Redux, but I've never used those before, and so this is all new to me. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to implement a version of this not necessarily with this page here, but maybe I'll just create another page and just root it and play around with it. So they do have a tutorial or an example that's very close to what I want to get at, which is the simple sortable here. So this is very similar to what I want to try to accomplish here. Okay, so we're going to try to recreate this. Thankfully, they already have a JavaScript example, which I've loaded up here. And so I'm going to start with, hold on, I'm just making sure my dog is not throwing up. Okay, I think she's fine. I'm going to start with the simple example here, and I'm going to try to copy it, and then I'm going to try to recreate what I'm trying to do here. Okay. So first, we're going to, because we're going to have to change a few things. Like, for example, this one is going vertically, so it sorts vertically. But mine is going to sort horizontally. And then once you reach the end of the horizontal, it's going to come back down here. So it's some sort of flexbox model. And it might add some complication because now we have also a second axis that we're dealing with. Okay. So I'm going to try to get to this example as close to sort of this inside this component first. Okay. It's going to be quite a bit of learning, I think. There's quite a bit of concepts in here that I'm not too familiar with. Like, for example, this using callbacks I've never done before on my own. I've read about it, and what the React API says is it returns a memoized callback. I've read this 100 times, and I'm not confident I understand what that means, but I think it's something to do with when you create a callback, I think the variables that you pass to it are frozen in that callback. So as you update these variables, the callback actually does not update with those updated variables. So I think to update this callback on a regular basis, you have to pass in these watching parameters, and you memoize it. So I think using use callback returns another function or a callback. Okay, so we'd have to use callback a little bit. They use this update function from immutability helper. I've never used that before, but I think it just makes a copy of your object that doesn't get updated as you update that object. Because I think JavaScript always works with these pointers. And so when you create a copy of a variable, it actually just creates another pointer, copy of the pointer to the same same memory location. But I guess this immutability helper creates a hard copy without performance degradation of some sort. And so you can then update the position. So what they're doing here with this is updating the position of their array of items. So that as you drag this, so let's say this is item number 2, 0, 1, 2, okay? As you drag it down, then we want to move this to item, position number 3. And so you have to kind of create a copy of that array and then reorder things accordingly. And I think that's what this is doing here. This render card, I think, just returns the card item. I don't know why I have to render a card like this. And then so this is a container that returns all those cards reordered or ordered in a certain way. Okay. There's also a card component, which is also pretty involved, and I have to work through all of these items, especially the use drag and use drop functionality from React Dnd. So let me just actually go through their API documentation here. So use drag as the hook, and I think you can see me reading through this. Okay, it's gonna be a bit boring. Okay. Interesting. So within the draggable component, we use this use drag hook, and we get back our collected props. I don't know what we do with that. And then we also get back this drag thing, which it looks like a reference. Okay, and then you have to pass it an object, a specification object, which I think is this thing here. So the first thing is an object containing collected properties from the collect function. Okay. So this is the connector function. Okay, and then you attach it using a reference, I guess. And then a third thing they didn't add here, a connector function for the drag preview. This may be attached to the preview portion of the DOM. Okay, we're not going to be using this here. Specification object items members. Okay. Required plain JavaScript properties when data being dragged is the only available drop types above the drag. Must be set. Item.type must be set. And it must be either a string and ESX simple. Only the drop practice register for the same type will react to this item. Object describing drag preview options. Okay, so a bunch of other stuff. Fire doing drag operation. Nothing needs to be returned, but if an object is returned, it will overwrite the default item property of the spec. And okay, so there's a bunch of functions you can throw in. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff we can throw into this use drag hook, and I think the use drop is also going to be similar. Okay, good. So let's see. So we have use drop here, and so they do all that. Let me just put the side by side here. I'm going to pull this to the right. Okay. I'm going to pull this to the left, and let's go back to that documentation. So use drag. Okay. So they have the accept here. What does this accept mean? No, sorry, this is use drop. Okay. Required. And you can accept cards, yes, okay. And then hover, what does hover mean? Called when an item is hovered over the component. Okay. Interesting. So this handles what happens when you hover over it. Time to actually perform the action. So here you move the card if it's hovered over. Okay. Good. And then so here we also have use drag, we have the item, and we have a collect monitor is dragging. Okay. Drag drop. Return at the card. Okay, good. Okay, so I think maybe what I'll do is, let me just set up our playground here. I'm going to set up maybe a separate page. Maybe I'll call it playground. Oops. From pages. It sounds like my AirPods are dying. Hold on. Let me just take one out. I wonder if you can still hear me. Okay. Can you still hear me? Let's see. So here's. Okay, good. I can still hear myself. Good. Okay, so we have playground. Good. And let's put in the boilerplate stuff. So I'm just going to copy all this stuff here and then replace this with playground. Okay. And I'm just going to replace this with hello. Okay. Take all that out. And then we need to root there. So let's fix our rooting. Okay. So it's going to be on the dashboard. And I'm going to put another root here. And I'm going to put in playground. Okay, it's auto imported for me. Let's see. And I just need to wrap this with these things. Okay, and let's make sure this works. So if I go to playground. Hello. My computer? Yes. Okay, good. Then I get a hello. Oh, I'm getting a bit hot. Let me take off this. Great, okay. So this works. So I think I'm going to just play with the playground here. Okay, good. So done rooting. And so now we can kind of include everything in here. So let's go back to this thing here. Let's get our code. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay. Let's see. So let's see how we're going to structure this. I still think it's good to keep things separate. I was thinking about whether I should just combine all this code into one component, but no, I think it's still good to keep things separate. So I'm wondering if I can just use this here. Maybe I'll create a separate one just to play with first. So let's say create another one called card D&D. Okay. And I think we'll just copy and paste all this stuff here. One thing I forgot to do is actually I forgot to install this thing here. So I'm going to npm it. Okay. Npm install React Dnd. Okay, while that's doing that, I realized that I needed item types, so let's create an item types here. Not pages. Yeah, I'm putting source here for now. Item types. And let's just copy that in as well. Let's see, put that here. Okay. So we'll have card item type. Later, of course, we'll have to expand this item type to include the view. Okay. Let's see what else is missing. Let's see if we get any issues. Let's restart our previous thing here. How do I restart it? Do I just exit out like that? Start like this again. Restart our server. Okay. Okay. Let's make sure this still works. Good. It's still running. And we're going to need a few pages. Routing buckets. How do they do it here? I think they just called container. So let's just put another container here. Oops. And components, yeah. Let's do that. And just copy this here. Okay. I guess we also need this here. Okay, let's restart this thing here. Restart task. I'll double check that you guys can still hear me. Hello, hello. Okay, good. Okay, looks okay so far. So let's see here. I'm supposed to be importing card from it's card/card dnd. Yes, and we export it as card. Okay, so I think that works. Good. And what's happening here? Nested block is redundant. What is that? Why is there so many? I wonder if that's a mistake. Okay. Style, use state, okay. Drag card from React, good. Item types, yes. Am I accessing the item types? I can automatically do from, where's this thing here? Dot card, yes, okay. Any other issues? No, okay. So let's import this then. Return, what do I want? I want the container. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, good. Errors is good. I'm just going to take out my other headphones and charge it a little bit. Still hear myself? Let's put drag drop context. Okay. Card D&D. Okay, so somewhere here, where's that? Line 13. Okay, so we're missing something here. Use drop. What does this mean? Okay, let's just look at the documentation for use drop. Is it because I need this thing here? I don't think that does anything. No. Okay. Accept, yes, I have accept. And what is this object end? Okay, it ends there, good. What does this mean? Let's Google it. Ah, okay, I forgot to do something. I forgot to use the provider. So I forgot to include this thing here. So let's put the provider in. I think it's going to be in our index. So let's call it DND provider. Yes, auto import. Backend equals HTML5 backend. Okay. And I'm going to need to import, I need this as well. Okay. So let's npm install that. So this backend, oops. They separated out DND into two parts. There's the DND part, and then there's also backends that connect to it. And this one uses the HTML5 drag and drop API. But this doesn't support touch. That's okay for our project because we don't really use touch yet. We have no plans to use touch. So for iPads and iPhones, we're not going to be building for that yet. We're just building for the desktop. So it's okay to use the HTML5 for now. But later we're going to probably want to use touch as well. Okay, good. So it's restarting, and hey, what do you know? Here we go. We have that thing. Great. Okay. So I think what we're going to try to do is slowly migrate this to something that matches what's on our current dashboard page. So if I could just, let's create another tab for this. We slowly migrate to something like this. So maybe let's recreate these cards as these issues, and then I can replace this index card with this one here. Okay. So actually, I do want to separate out the design with the function, maybe. Do you think? So they have the style here. Or maybe not. Maybe just combined. Because this is quite a long thing to include. Let's see, style. But we're not going to be using styles. How do we use it here? Where is it? Index this one. Right. Has a bunch of styled components. So how do we combine this? Okay. I think we should put these side by side and start moving stuff in. Okay, so instead of text, we're gonna return, what is this, card container? Okay, card container. So let's just copy this in here. And let's start slowly automatically importing them. Can I? Yes. Wait. Oh, I need to bring this in here. So let's just copy all this. Okay, and we need import styled. Yes, auto import that. Okay. So we're not going to have any of these things here because we're using source open issue icon. Right. Let's import that. options icon. Okay, let's get that. Good. So let's see, we have text here, and I think that comes from the props here. Okay, anyways, let's connect those props later. Let's see how our thing looks now. Good, okay. Great. So actually, let's move this div into this container here. And let's see. We're not going to have opacity, I think. So let's take this out. Let's take out text. Okay, good. Let's see if this works. Great, okay. I have my cards. Oh, but I lost my ability to drag them. Why? What happened? What did I take out? Can I drag these? Oh, I also can't drag these. What happened? If I just take this out, can I still drag? No, something happened. Okay, I'm just going to backscape everything here because I forget if I could drag it before I put all this stuff in. Okay. Yes, I can drag. Okay, good. Let me just try manually typing this in. Maybe it's an issue with styled components, I wonder. So if we include this, let's import styled. Okay. Card container, and if we just include card container here, what happens? Okay, I can still drag. Good. Draggable onto we don't need this stuff here. Good. So if I include all this stuff here, just copy and paste it in. Hopefully it doesn't change this. I can still move it around. Good. And let's start putting in these items. Issue status icon, source equals open issue icon. Okay, and then we need to import these things here. Okay, is it still working? Yes, good. And I have the icon there. Perfect. Okay, let's put in the text container. And let's put in the issue title. See. Okay, let's see how it's going. Good, I can still drag. Good. And then issue description, number 2, and issue author. That's me. Okay, good. It's still working. Yes, good. That's the end of the text container. And what happens when I add this options icon? Source equals options icon. Alt equals options icon. Oh. Where did this come from? Oh, here. Okay. Yes, still working. I think it was when I took this out. So I couldn't add a ref here for some reason. What if I took out the style? Does it still work? Yes. Oh, it does, yes, okay. But let's see. Oh, my cursor needs to be moved. So let's see if we can do that here. Nope. So as soon as I get rid of that style, then we don't have that move cursor hovering over it. Why not? Border, okay. Cursor move. Why can't I do the same thing here? Card container. Oh, you know what? This card container is not wrapping it. Hold on. Right, okay. Okay, let's see how this looks. Good, okay, I can still do that, great. Let's take out this text. Good. Let's take out this style. Okay, and let's move that cursor back to move. How come on hover I don't have that thing? I'm going to change the text here. So actually I'm going to make this the text. So that way, because right now we can't see the difference. Okay. So we do see it moving, but actually my move cursor is gone for some reason. Cursor move, cursor move. Is it because of this? Yes, it is. It was because of that. So as I hover, then I get this. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to change the title of this. We don't want this text. Let's see. We want to get the full word. Yeah, these two. Okay, we're going to change it to title. Oopsie. So we can replace this one and that one. Good. And let's change description. Let's call this description. Okay, and let's also bring that in as a prop. And let's get the author. And let's bring that in as a prop. Okay. Good. So I think everything should work now. Good. But we can't tell, so let's update the container where it's not text, but it should be title, and we should also have some description. You know what? Oh, no, I'm just going to write random description. And we're also going to have author. It's always going to be read for now. Okay. I'm just going to put that in to all these items here. Okay, good. Oh, and then we need to pass these things as well into the card. So let's see, card text. So let's see, this one will be title, and this will be title. Let's see if there's any other text anywhere. Okay, good. And we're going to have two more things, which is description and author. Okay, so we're passing those in. Good. We have this stuff here. I'm going to shorten this. Good. Okay. There we have it. Okay, good. So this is exactly sort sort of what we're looking for. I think we're getting there. You can hover over, and it will change position. But I wish that we could have some animation, huh? I wonder how to do that later. Okay, I think I've got this properly set up for now. I'm going to save everything, and so we can stop this here. So let's just review everything. So we put in a few more packages. I think these are fine. They're all dependencies, yes. We added in the provider. We have to have this item typed. Later we're going to add a view to this. And then we added this container item. We updated our routing so we can go test this out just on the playground. Let's fix this up a little bit. So we're not using style anymore. And I think we're also not using opacity anymore. Okay, so we'll take that out. Okay. So we'll add that in. Playground, we'll add this in as well. Good, okay. Okay, so let's commit this. And we'll push it up. Good. Okay, so that wasn't as painful as I thought it might be. And we're off to a good start. So I think next step, we're going to have to try to make this horizontal. And we're going to have to try to slowly start migrating it to what we've already built here. Okay, cool. We'll save that for another video. Thanks, guys.